Okay, as we're slowly coming back, I would like us to come and see what we have here on the display. And everybody gets one vote, which is what I already announced. Your votes are here. So please grab one. It's a green sticker dot. So you will be able to come and make one vote for one topic area or one recommendation that you feel we should include and formulate to leave out of this room. If you come here and you feel that we still are missing something that you think you want to see there, then this will be the second round of voting. You are then able to also add something on the papers that you have on your desks. So please come read what we have on the board and please do your vote. Rosita, Amjad, and me were also going to vote, just to let you know. So please come and see the board and do your vote.
How then get the people online that they can't vote, right?
If she remembered everything we talked about, she should just say which one she believes was the nice, the you too as well, feel free. Okay, so just as I was explaining everybody, you have here your votes. Everybody gets one green sticker. Go and read what is out there on the board and please stick your vote to the topic that you feel we should really develop. In one, mister. Three? No. Nice. Yeah.
Do we vote just for one?
Yeah.
But do we vote only on the policies or everything on the board?
You can vote for everything on the board because some of the things that you find are important, we can formulate into a policy. So we can have that discussion later. This is for the online vote.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Also, like I was saying, if you feel that there's something still missing, feel free to add it. Disturbing the election. No, just kidding. Okay.
Should we send international observation?
Yeah, I know. Okay, those of you who haven't voted, please go and do your votes. What does it say? What's wrong? Cool, thank you.
We vote for two.
Yeah. Yeah. So that you like maths. Thank you so much. Yeah, your second preference here. Warmer? Yeah, sure. Is it possible to turn off the air conditioning or to lower it a little bit? Yeah. Yeah, thank you a lot. Okay, so if I could have your attention just to kind of see the results of the vote. So, if I'm seeing it correctly, this here point got the most votes, and it says here legal provision, integration information of all. I believe that this is very similar to these other 2 points here. So basically these 3 points describe the exact same thing. So we're talking about providing information about the opportunities, about political rights, about in general information on political context of the country that people are coming into and what their rights and responsibilities are. The second point that I'm seeing that has 3 votes are mapping out the relevant migrant organizations and their expertise in order to make most of their participation. So to increase both their visibility as well as activism. Thank you so much. And the third one that we have is to actually, oops, okay, never mind. To support through scholarships, stipends, and different other kinds of incentives, the studying of new Europeans in social sciences, in particular public administration, political science, law, and different kinds of fields that actually lend themselves to political participation and leadership later on. Can somebody help me? This is gonna fall and I'm holding the microphone here. Cool, no, yeah. This, thank you so much. Okay, perfect. So now we have these 3 ideas. I would like us to have 3 groups working each on one of the ideas. We have the 3 tables. Does any table have a preference for one of the topics? You want the first one? Okay, perfect. So this is going to be your topic, and I will give you the format on how to work on it. Who wants to do the second one? Mapping of relevant migrant organizations. Yeah? Okay, perfect. We have the second group, and the third group is financing, coming up with incentives for the study and education element. Okay, feel free to come and take a photo of your topic in case you need it. I would like to keep it on the board. What you will be doing now is developing a full policy recommendation, which sounds as following. I will create an imaginary one, okay, that we don't have on the list now. But the policy recommendation would be, we recommend that political parties include in their membership outreach strategies elements of attracting members with refugee and migrant background. So that's an example. We have who we're talking to and what we are asking them to do. So this is something that each group is going to identify, okay? Essentially, you need to kind of come up with a little title of what is it that you're doing or what is it that you're advocating for, and then a 2 or 3 sentence explanation. So this is what you'll be working on in the next 20 minutes or so, okay? I think so, yeah. So please, we will do another timer and everything. You will know the time is up, and feel free to take a photo of your point. And please return it after you're done. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, or you can take your point and then just please be so kind to return it after you're done. Thank you.
Why we need to integrate migrants?
In order to be active like that, in order to be armed with education. Of equipment, it would improve the level of quality of contribution. I mean, you are academic. Yes, but I can.
Hi, Oka, Elena, are you still there?
Just to assist your process a little bit, here is the template that we will be following, so you can see exactly what each table is supposed to create. So, our working group's policy recommendation is short title, core policy message, and then 3 sentences. Why it's needed, what changes you expect as a result of it, what stakeholders you're speaking to, etc. So this is kind of the format. Both are there, yeah.
So you can ask.
let's write. Let's think of that.
Why is it needed? In order to improve their participation on equal ground. You know, because equal ground is very important. They are not only recipients, yeah, out of nowhere. Yes, yes, sure. And you know, I would say also like the non-formal, the soft skills, because I mean, like the reality said that yeah, the soft skills will be there according to each culture, and it may be important to teach like certain not to be very emotional, but to be rational, not to be too rational, but to be a little. Yes. And to arm them in the necessary skills, with the necessary soft skills. You say arm them? Not yeah, it's not.
Yes, I think I can. I just need to train that.
Applicable values. I mean, not values. I don't like this term values, but applicable norms. Or I don't know, applicable
I have something. Just
yeah,
I'm gonna try and put something together and come back here. Is that okay?
yeah, this is like a necessary skill. Or not.
No, no.
Soft skills?
Let me try and no, let me try and facilitate something, and then I'll come back to you. So I got your ideas. Get there. So from that I will try and put something together.
I would say everyone was involved in this process,
Thanks.
as well as the NGOs, because some of them they are extremely important. For instance, you see like quite, with all my respect, but less people that are involved.
says you state your name and present the name of your work.
One more minute, just a second.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yes, yes, I did.
No, I think whoever's.
It's possible to
We can choose someone here too.
Okay, I'll just paste it and then I'll edit it.
It seems to make sense because it's not easy trying to talk to people online. That's the weakness of the online platform. You can't have a proper.
Can I edit?
Yeah, add it, edit it, add it, whatever.
So basically, our final area number 3, so our group's final policy recommendation is to, yeah, yeah, because I will still be walking this way, so 1, 2, 3. Because we go to, so it's to map out relevant migrant actions across Europe. Don't. Okay, but then that's your title. Then the next sentence is, this would facilitate their visibility and political participation. And then in line with number 4. I mean, I can write email.
messages blocked. I don't know. They said my
Okay, sorry, I need your email.
Here where it says rapporteur introduction.
Yeah, wait, do we have to decide that?
Yeah, we have to decide on that. I just wanted to finalize the stuff. I don't want to interrupt their process.
Okay, am I going to have some time to consolidate this?
Yes, yes, I will be the one helping you out with that. So it's Ratanaso.
Yeah, at
Perfect.
Gmail.
Does that make sense? The opening statement?
But that's the thing. I don't think that you're undertaking an exercise. The way I see it, you're acting for 8 weeks. So the exercise is something that has to be given to you.
Yeah, but the, is there
This is just consolidation from online, right? This is not from theirs.
where do we put it then?
So that's, it's sort of
It's
there. It's supposed to be that, the problem framing, right? And then based on that, first recommendation is this with, they have a little bit of a,
but then it's not framed like a problem because it's like the problem would be that they're not involved, right?
yeah. So what we're saying is better, so we're kind of flipping it around, right? So it's sort of framing the context of why.
I think if it's like framed like a problem, it needs to be more like they need to be better informed, better qualified.
Yeah, yeah. Or, you know, it's sort of setting the issue, right? So if we want to get to this, then our first recommendation is this, that, right? So, but unless that's a different way of,
Well, let me see what they sent and
yeah,
how it flows together.
yeah, that might be it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask everybody here for a little bit of advice, if I can, please. We got a little bit of a problem in this group. Basically, the general discussion or debate is as follows. We have here that the recommendation is for legislatures to create infrastructures for inclusion of migrants and refugees at local, regional, and national, as well as European levels in political and policy-making processes. It is our recommendation that these inclusion advisory committees be composed of individuals with migrant and refugee backgrounds and be consulted on any and all matters related to integration, immigration, asylum process, etc. The debate we have is as follows. We believe that these kind of things should be addressed to legislatures at local, national, regional, at European levels, and that we should stick to them because we want them to have these inclusion advisory committees. We have one opinion that believes that we should address it to the UN and international organizations instead. Can I hear ideas? I'm seeing this from Omar.
In Finland, it already exists at the local level. They have these migrant integration committees in the city councils, and they are associated to policy making. And well, personally, I think it's the local level that is the most important at this level. I just would like to say that many of these, I mean, in the Finnish experience, many of these committees or advisory councils, as you want to call them, they are also hijacked by gatekeepers within migrant communities. It's always the same people participating. Yeah. It's usually older men, sorry to say. And so I think that perhaps in the recommendation, I would suggest that you add something about, representativeness.
Democratically elected or something like that, so we can add that. Yes, we had Amjad and then Adam.
Thanks. I think the need to maybe make it more explicit on inclusion and diversity in that will be good, because if you address the UN and international organizations, there's nothing binding, right? A state can sort of refuse not to do it, but if at the local level, you can that's where it makes it, they can sign up to it. We've signed up, all states have signed up to all sorts of international treaties and everything else, don't do much about it. But I mean, it's a much more symbolic thing, and I agree, but if you really want action, it's at the local level. So I think that's where.
Thank you a lot. First Adam, then Omar, and then Said.
3 quick points. The first one is we need to look at what already exists. We already mentioned it, but there is a convention in 1992 on the participation of foreigners in local life. So maybe to enforce that instead of coming up with something else. And in the convention, local authorities need to establish consultative bodies. So that's my first point.
Consultative bodies.
Yes, by the Council of Europe.
Yeah.
And then my second point is I genuinely believe that it's not about involving individuals, but it's about involving structures and organizations.
Okay.
And
so representation, yeah.
And the third,
representatives of migrant-led organizations or something like that.
Yeah, and then so we also ensure accountability, because individuals are not accountable to any wider structure. And the third point, it's not only inclusion and integration policies, because at the end of the day, as someone who's living in this community, I'm affected by all policies. So I need to be involved in the different policies that are taking place as any other citizens, because I'm living here, I'm paying taxes, I'm affected by everything. Why wouldn't I be consulted in roads or education or healthcare?
Okay, good. Thank you. So basically on all policies. So on policies relating to as well as all other. Yeah?
I just want also to emphasize again that on UN level, it makes the thing more complicated. You have many more stakeholders who will talk there, and even the Europeans, they could be easier, like it happened with the UN Migration Pact, which should have been signed in Morocco, and suddenly the Visegrad and the Austrian government said, we're not going to enter it. It's for them more easier to say we don't accept something that happens in the UN than in the European Union. And it's like a feeling, even now, not always the higher protocol can help you. If you see now, even in some countries, the president is maybe diplomatically and politically the highest one, but he can't change anything. And on the other hand, you have those stakeholders who could do that. That's why I don't think that the United Nations, it's only symbolic, but it doesn't have any effectiveness. And you have then their countries where they don't have a democratic participation at all for nobody. So this is the last problem for them to think about the migrants.
Yeah, for me, I think the question is that if there is on global level policy discussions that somehow impact, for example, we speak about ATCR, which is annual meeting on resettlement, no, in Geneva, and there are like also representatives of different governments. And if there is not involvement of refugees, how you can improve the resettlement program? So this is my question is that if there is, because resettlement is something on global level, no, and when people are resettled in Europe, it has impact on whole society, no, on local level. So my question is that
I understand. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but to me, resettlement is something different than once people are already settled in a place where they will be living. So are we now talking about policies that change resettlement, or are we talking about including individuals into political life where they are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my question is that the policies related, we speak about policies related to integration, related to migration, related to asylum, no? And there are different levels, so local level, regional level, national level, European level, and there are like some international spaces and events and conferences that or the topics are on migration and asylum, and how you can involve also the perspective, include the perspective of refugees on those international events and conferences. Yeah, then it has impact also on national level. For example, 1951 convention, many national legislators or local legislators, they take in consideration that as how to identify, to analyze the person is a refugee.
Said, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but the international type of level that you're talking about and all the problems you're discussing, they're nowhere on the list here. We didn't even discuss them up until right now. So in that sense, I'm so sorry to be the one to kind of push us back onto the focus of this kind of meeting that we're doing, but we need 3 policy recommendations. I hear you. Please note down everything you said about the need to include voices on the international level as well, because like I said, that's going into the report. So please kind of write down exactly everything you said about the need to include voices at the global level of policy making in matters such as resettlement, etc., and post it there, because then I'm going to include it in the list, okay? But for now, we need to flesh out the 3 key recommendations. Now, I think we have already, how many did you receive? Adam. Perfect, and we need, Odd, could you please come and help Rosita type up your thingy? Okay, cool. We will be doing now a rehearsal of the whole thing as soon as we have everything typed up. So I would like to ask for a volunteer from this group who would like to do the presentation in the plenary. Everybody's looking at the floor. We can also like pull out the shortest straw type of thing. Yes, in the plenary. In the plenary, after lunch. No, I'm asking for one volunteer who can speak. Adam, can I force you to volunteer? Shall we all volunteer Adam to do it? Yeah. Thank you very much for volunteering so spontaneously and without any pressure involved whatsoever. Okay, perfect. So then I would like to ask you all to go and stretch your legs for next 5 minutes and come back, because then Adam is going to rehearse the speech that will come out of this group. And you will be able to give final comments, feedback, what to change, etc. Okay? So stick around, you can stay here, etc., or you can stretch your legs and then come back and help Adam finalize the presentation. Can I get the papers? Because Rosita needs to type them up. It's okay, I'll do it with what was said. Okay. Is that as well? No, this was, okay. Rosita, could I have the laptop, please? Yeah. And I will type up the first.
Okay, just, can I just once
Good. Okay. That's it. Yeah. Can you save it, please, before everything disappears? Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, Adam, we have the text. He'll do it himself. Adam? Adam? I'm just like trying different pronunciation styles. If you can come, please. So the only thing that's missing is the 10 seconds in which you say who you are. We didn't write that down. We have complete and utmost confidence you can do it. But here's the presentation. If you don't mind scrolling, that's cool. Just grab a microphone so that you can use it. And then please, everybody, listen to the text in case we need to polish anything, in case something sounds really weird, so that we can change it.
Okay, do you want to read from the screen?
We'll make sure that we print it out for you. For now, we're just reading from the screen.
Okay. Is there any possibility to have it on the screen so people can also look at it?
It will be a slide where the stuff in
No, I
blue.
mean now.
Oh, now? It will take too much time to put it, so we have to send it to them. They have to project it, so it might take a while.
I mean, it will be easier maybe for someone else.
Okay, do you want me to make it bigger?
Yes.
It will be bullet points behind you on a single
50?
PowerPoint.
Maybe 150? Or 100? 200 maybe? I don't have time.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's it.
Teamwork. Okay, just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to time you because they have told us at least 20 times that the presentation is not allowed to be longer than 3 minutes. So I'm going to now...
3 minutes?
Yeah, seriously, I'm not kidding
As
you.
soon as we reach the 3 minutes, I'll drop the computer.
Yeah, nice. I think Rosita will really be happy with that. Just kidding. Okay, let's start.
1 second. So
Yes.
I just need to present the actual recommendations. There is no...
No, the text in before as well.
The whole text.
Basically, the text is supposed to contextualize the problem, this part, the introduction. Introductory problem framing. You're reading everything that's on there.
Okay, I'm just reading it.
Just say it first, go up. There is the first sentence that, no, up. You're supposed to fill this part out, who you are and which group you were talking with.
Okay. Which group I'm talking about?
This is group on inclusion of migrants and refugees in political processes and policymaking, but very good.
Good start.
Where am I? Okay.
Promising start. Okay. Yes. Hi, my name is Adam, and I am part of the group on political participation of refugees and migrants. We have came up with 3 concrete recommendations. But first, a little introduction. The better and more accurately informed, qualified, and involved migrant and refugee-led organizations are the more likely they... Okay, we need to fix that. More likely they are to trust the public policy-making processes and engage in them. Involving these organizations enables them to feel part of our society and ensure that we listen and understand the lived experiences of migrants and refugees. Such inclusive processes enable respect, fair treatment, and equal opportunities. Proper mechanisms and tools need to be developed to ensure migrants and refugees participate fully in our societies. Therefore, our first recommendation is for legislators to create infrastructures of inclusion of migrants and refugees at local, regional, national, and European levels in political and policy-making processes. It is our recommendation that these inclusion advisory committees be composed of representatives of migrant and refugee-led organizations and be consulted on matters related to integration and immigration, as well as on all issues pertaining to fostering active civic, political, cultural, and religious life. This brings us to our working group's second recommendation, namely that capacity building is essential for political participation. Our recommendation is that institutions active in the field of political participation, both governmental and non-governmental organizations, including political parties, support the capacity building of migrants, migrant organizations, and other stakeholders in the field of political participation. This entails making information available in several languages on the basic principles regarding the relevant political system, including the applicable values and norms. the concrete practice and mechanisms through which individuals can participate in political life, either individually or in organizations. This is important in order to ensure equal participation, support multicultural understanding, and to equip migrants with necessary skills, knowledge, and self-confidence to operate as active citizens. Our working group's final policy recommendation is to map out relevant migrant and refugee-led organizations across Europe. The lively and continuously updated databases would facilitate their political participation and visibility. In line with the Council of Europe's Convention on the Participation of Foreigners in Public Life at Local Level, 1992, this should be done through establishing representative local consultative bodies formed by migrant and refugee-led organizations and supported by municipalities. National governments would collect the info and transfer it to the European Commission, who would create the European databases. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Okay. How does it feel? It was 2 minutes, 54 seconds.
I think time-wise was perfect, but I don't think anyone will really
No. Basically, like he lost 10 seconds with announcing that now I'm going to frame the problem a little bit, etc. So we're not going to have that at all. So basically, there is space for you to go slower, but bear in mind that this was his first time reading the text. He wasn't familiar with what was done in other groups, just in your group. So in that sense, what we're going to do is, if I can ask you to please coordinate with Rosica, where you kind of polish the things that you found that needed to be changed a little bit. Remember, you're not announcing the framing, you're not announcing anything, you're just kind of focusing on the gist. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this is printed out for you so that you can familiarize yourself with the text, because we don't even need you to read it out fully in case you're able to kind of like just simply run through it on your own. Is there anything that we feel that needs to be changed?
I am more, I think that it would be much better if he would read it and then tell us the story with his words.
Yeah.
And this recommendation is written in
it's written anywhere.
there. But just reading a text, I think nobody will can concentrate
Absolutely.
and focus what is happening. And
Yeah.
that's what my
No,
opinion.
I'm happy with that.
Just read the things and then tell it with your words. And
Yes.
even if it's less, it mustn't be all, because this is already recommended, and nobody will, as you said, nobody would
Absolutely.
think about it. Then the people will hear you.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe it would be better just a suggestion.
I'm fully on board with this suggestion. Is everybody? Okay. Okay, brilliant. Oh, Alexandra, now you come after we finished a very good rehearsal. So brilliant. Okay, so I'm so happy. How does everybody feel? Can we do a round of how everybody feels? And Adam, please feel free to start first in terms of this whole process. I know we were running through this and everything, but how do you feel about the outcome? Just show them the thingy. on the PowerPoint.
Yes, Voicify/the Young Republic.
Nice. Okay, how do you feel?
About the whole process.
The process and the content of what they came up with in terms of being put forward.
Maybe I can go next.
Oh, you want to go the second one? Anybody else, how they feel? Go, Odd.
That was a very interesting morning. I think it was an interesting democratic experience, which shows the challenges of it all.
Yep.
But still, it can work when you have a diversity of people meeting and exchanging. We see also deliberation and consultation is interesting. So food for thought for anyone running for president at some point, I guess. But thank you very much. No, it was really nice. I think it's pretty, what we came up with is pretty doable, like pretty realistic, like, I mean, as far as it can be realistic in that type of things. But yeah, I think it's pretty honest, humble, but still bold. So I'm very satisfied. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Reality Check, as we agreed yesterday. We were talking yesterday how she was going to really focus on the reality of it all. So anybody else from this table? No? Adam, please.
Yes, I would say maybe we can look concretely at two levels. What's attainable and what's ideally we could get. I think in terms of thinking very practically, it's in terms of outcomes, I think I'm okay with them. They're good in that sense. What's ideally is that we would have spent much more time to provide things that are more evidence-based rather than a quick brainstorming, because I think no matter how diverse and good we are at what we do, we are not attaining the full picture of and what already exists and the different dynamics, etc.
Absolutely.
So just to be aware of that maybe these recommendations are not that representative in that sense.
Representative
of the different dynamics and forces on the in reality.
Absolutely, yeah. No, but thank you. Drawing on that one, I would like to ask also, I will give you my email. I would like to receive the information about the Finnish example that you shared, because I'm going to provide as many of these kind of like information, like boxes that you had in the input papers. I'm going to try to provide them as well to KAICIID to include them, because I think that when you come up with a recommendation and then you say, actually, you see it already works for them there, that sometimes carries more power with it. Dima?
Yes, I was really... I was really glad and impressed of the high level of equal teamwork, because knowing that we are coming from a different working and academic background, I was really glad to see this I would say like spirit in exchanging knowledge and trying to work so quickly and efficient with each other. And yes, I was happy and glad to be in this like here in this group.
Thank you. I'm very happy that I was in this group as well, because I had a feeling that diversity was definitely a plus, and I like the fact that we were discussing all these different things together. Anybody here? Feedback, impressions? Our glorious virtual facilitator as well. Maybe Ondine has something to say as well.
No, I think they're quite happy with the outcome. I just want to thank them for their patience, because it's not easy being online and sort of having to be part of a conversation that...
Could we see the Zoom room possibly? I'm just wondering if we could see it on the screen. And is Ondine using the video?
Ondine is not. It's Olena who's there. So
Olena, can we see you, Olena? I don't know.
She's having a problem with her video, but
okay.
We see a picture of her.
Okay, so we see a picture of her. Can everybody just wave to Olena, because she's seeing us? The camera is there. So I hope that she can see us, and we thank you for taking part and for assisting this process with us, even from afar. Any other comments, feedback?
One thing that I think it's important to note as refugee and migrant advocates, that I think we need to have a proper and long-term engagement and critical engagement with each other to also discuss our different asks, because clearly we have, based on our different experiences and our local context, we have different positions on like what even representation is it structures, is it individuals, etc. I think we miss this part. Usually it's us and then European organizations, but we need to have like migrant process where we produce common asks and we understand why we are pushing for structures or individuals or global or European or
So what I'm hearing is that kind of you are usually migrant-led organizations are invited for bilateral type of communications with some kind of institutions, but not brought together to communicate amongst themselves. Is this what I'm hearing?
Well, what I know of is that there are different groups, and then the groups would come up with certain asks. Because I don't think there is enough like intra-coordination between the different groups of groups, in a way.
Okay. Do we agree with this perception? Yeah, I can see a nodding of heads. Okay. Well, I would just like to take this opportunity to first of all thank from the bottom of my heart to the people that I haven't worked with up until now, and they are Rosita and Amjad. I would like to ask for a round of applause for them, because they were amazing assisting me in this process. And one group that definitely deserves a huge round of applause is hiding behind that screen. Guys, please stand up and wave, because without them, we wouldn't have been able to do most of the things that we've done here. So thank you so much for your hands-on assistance and for being able to respond to all of our inquiries. Okay. Okay, and I'm thanking all of the people who are at the moment literally invisible because their cameras are off, but I'm thanking them for trying to assist us with making sure that the voices of people who are not in the room with us, but were nevertheless following the forum, that their voices were also heard in the process. Finally, no. No, finally, I'm just going to answer one of the speed questions from this morning in terms of what I still hope to do during this forum, is that I hope to speak to some of you in a context where I'm not issuing orders that are time limited to you, where you need to produce things, because I would like to have a drink and talk. So please, let's find each other during the breaks or during the lunch, okay? That's my one hope. I hope you will help me out with it. Of everybody. Thank you so much, everybody.
First virtual, I facilitate online.